Hi everyone, day 11 of my 77-day live video challenge, Heart and Soul with Evelyn. Yesterday, I spoke a little bit about being a military brat, army brat, and I spoke with my brother today, and he reminded me of a few things, so I thought I would share them because I found them really interesting. Now, I did mention being in the military. My dad was in the Army, so I was a military brat for the first 18 years of my life. Now, there were certain things that we did that we just thought were normal. However, they really weren't. So one thing that we did at the military school is we always, I don't know if this actually happens in American schools, but what we did in the morning, the first thing we did is we pledged allegiance to the flag. We put our right hand over our heart and we pledge allegiance, face the flag. It was always in the corner, and then we would pledge allegiance to the flag. Another thing we did, which I shared yesterday, I wasn't really sure exactly what happened, but when music played at the theater, at the cinema, we did the same thing. Whenever a movie was played on base, it would start off with the national anthem. So everybody would stand, and if a soldier was in his uniform, he actually would salute. If he wasn't in his uniform, he would just stand at attention, and then he would put his hand over his heart. And that's what all the civilians did. That's what we did. And that's what I remember doing when I was growing up, is that we always stand at the movie theater and we pledge allegiance to the flag while I went to school. But another thing my brother reminded me, which I totally forgot, but when he reminded me, I said, oh yeah, I remember that. So on all the military bases, certain bugle calls were played throughout the day. And in the morning, they were played like it was the first call. So they would do a reveille. So the bugle, and this is just in America. I know in Australia they're called reveille and the last post. They're all called different things. But in America, the first call of the day, a bugle call, it would be a reveille, and that would be at 6:30 in the morning. It was for all the soldiers to get up, and then the flag would also, would there be a roll call, and then the flag would actually be put up on a post. Now, at 5 p.m., they would have a bugle call known as the retreat. And what I remember growing up, if I was on base and this bugle call was played every single day at 5 o'clock, you were required to, if you were driving in, to turn off your car, to turn off the engine, get out of the car, face the position where the bugle music was being played, and that's where the flag was actually being lowered down, and you were just required to you could put your hand over your heart if you wanted to. As a civilian, you didn't have to. As a military, you put your hand over your heart or you saluted, depending if you had your uniform on or not. So my brother reminded me of that, and I remembered that as well, that we'd be on base at 5 o'clock. The bugle recorded sound would play, and we would get out. He also told me, and I didn't know this, is also at a military base, at the end of the night, taps would be played, and that was usually played about 11 p.m. at night. So taps would be played, which is similar to the last post. Taps is something that is played at a funeral or a memorial service, military. But they played that every single night at the end of the night on a military base. So I found that actually quite interesting, and something I did remember when he reminded me about the bugle call being in the middle of the day, which was called the retreat. And we were all required to get out of the car, face wherever that music was playing, and we knew that the flag was being hoisted down, and just show that respect. So I thought I would just share that with you today. Just another sort of thing from being a military brat. And I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great weekend, but I will see you tomorrow for day number 12.